Never has Donald Trump melted down like he just melted down in one of the worst Truth Social posts we have ever seen. And it was because of the perfect storm that got us here. Not only did Bad Bunny infuriate all of MAGA by being an American pop superstar, but Donald Trump's alternative, the Turning Point USA halftime show, completely flopped. It fell flat. And then Bad Bunny came out and trolled Donald Trump with calls for patriotism, love, and an incredible halftime show that I suspected historic numbers. And so Donald Trump, unable to control himself, took those tiny little thumbs to Truth Social. And yeah, it was pretty embarrassing in terms of the meltdowns that we usually see from Donald Trump. But like I said, it didn't even start with Bad Bunny. It started with Turning Point USA failing. Barack Obama also got in on the fun. We got so much to cover, but first we got to start with poor Erica's humiliation. MAGA's halftime show gets kneecapped before it airs. Less than 2 hours before it was set to air, MAGA's Super Bowl halftime show has hit a major snag. Today, Turning Point USA, the conservative organization co-founded by the late political activist Charlie Kirk, announced that its alternate halftime show will not stream on Elon Musk's Twitter. Update: due to licensing restrictions, we are unable to stream the All-American halftime show on Twitter, the organization said of its MAGA alternative to Bad Bunny's main event. Instead, the Kid Rock-led show will stream exclusively on the organization's YouTube channel, concurrent with the live Super Bowl broadcast. Even Elon doesn't want to listen to Kid Rock, California Governor Gavin Newsom's press office account tweeted in response. The MAGA halftime show was first announced back in October after the Puerto Rican superstar musician Bad Bunny, Bonito Bad Bunny 31, was announced as the Super Bowl halftime show headliner. Conservatives looking to boycott the main halftime show will be treated to a concert by, I can't even stop myself from laughing, Kid Rock and a bunch of no-namers. Kid Rock, 55, has been a recurring fixture of the Trump administration, performing at the final night of the 2024 RNC. The musician, who garnered backlash for his resurfaced predatory lyrics, will also headline the MAGA-coded Rock the Country tour later this year. Turning Point's alternative halftime show is serving as a de facto boycott of a musician MAGA critics consider un-American, although he is very much American because Puerto Rican-born Bad Bunny, whose full name Bonito, angered conservatives with his music, which is almost entirely in Spanish, and with his fashion, which occasionally introduces dresses. Bad Bunny further enraged MAGA critics with his anti-ICE acceptance speech at last Sunday's Grammy Awards. Of course, Bonito said, "Before I say thanks to God, I'm going to say ICE out," the singer said while accepting the award for Best Música Urbana Album. Sorry for my bad Spanish. "We're not savage, we're not animals, we're not aliens, we're humans, and we are Americans." So the perfect storm was already getting set in motion. Donald Trump saw his alternative halftime show, Erica Kirk's alternative halftime show, just down the drain. But before we could even get to Bad Bunny, the other person that has infuriated Donald Trump most this week also chimed in, and it was Barack Obama. Obama shades MAGA in celebratory Super Bowl post. MAGA World caught a sly snub from the former President Barack Obama in a tongue-in-cheek post about the Super Bowl. The Obama Foundation posted support of Bad Bunny ahead of his Super Bowl halftime show, sharing a clip on Twitter Sunday that compiled all the times the 31-year-old Puerto Rican artist, real name Benito, has appeared in Obama's annual Favorite Songs of the Year list. But where it gets good is the fact that the foundation captioned the video from one natural-born U.S. citizen to another, "Have a great Benito Bowl." They're getting petty. It's great, isn't it? MAGA, like we're seeing it. Turning Point USA fails. Step up, Obama trolling, and what could only make it worse is if Bad Bunny killed it. And that is exactly what Benito did, and he did it with patriotism, with flair, with an incredible show, and it's this trolling that set Trump off on Truth Social. Honestly, I can't even call this trolling. It was just patriotic. Standing up for what you believe when Donald Trump believes everything in America is shit isn't trolling as much as it's Bad Bunny being incredible, and that's what he was. Bad Bunny held up a football at the end of his Super Bowl halftime show with flags of the Americas behind him, and it said, "Together, we are America." Bad Bunny ends his Super Bowl halftime show in front of a sign reading, "The only thing more powerful than hate is love." And as the White House during the performance was tweeting, "Make America Great Again," Bad Bunny kept on saying, "God bless America, God bless America." How could you be more patriotic than that halftime show? You couldn't. Bad Bunny was not only incredibly entertaining, a lot of fun. The man, let's be real, people, the man looks good. He looked good. I like the wide shoulders. It was a great outfit. Lady Gaga was killing it. Ricky Martin was killing it. It was a great show. But Donald Trump couldn't control himself. This was one of the most embarrassing posts he's ever made. Donald Trump, in a fit of rage, took to Truth Social, writing, "Quite frankly, the Super Bowl halftime show is absolutely terrible, one of the worst ever. It makes no sense in an affront to the greatness of America and doesn't represent our standards of success, creativity, or excellence. Nobody understands a word this guy is saying. except those of us who understand Spanish, and the dancing is disgusting. Disgusting dancing coming from the guy who does the jerk-off dance, but okay, especially for young children. Wow, Donald Trump lecturing us on young children. Okay, that's certainly interesting, that are watching from throughout the USA and all over the world. This quote-unquote show is just a quote-unquote slap in the face to our country, which is setting new standards and records every single day, including the best stock market and 401ks, quite frankly, in history. There is nothing inspirational about this mess of a halftime show, and watch. It will get great reviews from the fake news media because they haven't got a clue of what is going on in the real world, says the guy tweeting nonsense. And by the way, the NFL should immediately replace its ridiculous new kickoff rule. I don't know, football fans, you chime in on that one, but make America great again, President Donald J. Trump. So the most hypocritical man in America is saying that the show was a danger to children because we were having a little fun and getting the shoulders working and having a blast down in the home of my San Francisco 49ers. So that was the first level of hypocrisy. The second was this is an embarrassment to America because of an American artist. Also, hasn't Donald Trump declared that the Don Roe doctrine that he claims means that the entire Western Hemisphere is controlled by America? That all of the Western Hemisphere is under our purview? Wouldn't that include the very Spanish-speaking South America? Okay, no. So we're also throwing away your foreign policy claims. We're baking in that hypocrisy. Good to know. But what are you saying? What was hypocritical? What was horrendous, you hypocrite? What was so bad? It was a blast. It was fun. It was unity. It was dancing. I saw Pedro Pascal in the background. I wanted to see him get up on stage and shake it with Bonilla. I wanted to see it. And I did. And it was great. And we had fun. And we didn't watch, Kid Rock sound like shit. And I did listen. I saw a clip on Twitter just because I wanted to be honest with y'all. I wanted to get the firsthand account of whether or not it was a terrible show. He looked bad, y'all. It just the hate doesn't do well for the vocal cords or for the face or for the heart. I think we see that with Kristi Noem and the rest of the MAGA gang. But these people are just such snowflakes, and they are just such sticks in the mud. They are so fucking annoying. Everything's got to be a complaint. Everything's got to be whining. It was, God bless America, and I want to say thank you, God. What is more all-American and Christian than that? Like, wait, Kid Rock singing, I don't care if it's statutory? And that's the guy that you booked, Erica? And it didn't go well. Governor Newsom was right. Not even Elon was like, I don't even want that shit on my platform. Get it off. It's just so embarrassing that MAGA has made this their focus. I think I said this in the other video that I did, but I saw a bleach blonde, bad built, butch body, Jasmine, Fox host. She said, I'm going to turn off the halftime show. I'm going to mute it, and I'm going to eat some chips and guac. Which came from where? Where did the chips and guac come from? Okay, it wasn't Nebraska. It wasn't North Dakota. I can promise you that much. But in one of the worst examples of the hypocrisy from the right attacking Bad Bunny, I want us to end on this. And you're going to want to stick around because I'm going to rip into this individual, and he's a good friend of Donald Trump's. But when Logan Paul, and you might not know that name, he's a YouTuber. He endorsed Donald Trump. He had him on his podcast. His brother Jake is also horrendous. But when Logan Paul, walking into the Super Bowl, was asked about Bad Bunny, he had this to say, and I had a response. And I got a response really for all of MAGA to close this one out. When Logan Paul was asked whether or not he was excited for the halftime show, he said no. And I pointed out on Twitter that Logan Paul moved into a $32 million mansion in Puerto Rico in 2021 to pay less in taxes. So Logan Paul, who says, can't stand Bad Bunny, I don't like Puerto Rico. Him and his brother both live in Puerto Rico. For the lower income tax, lower capital gains tax, they are exploiting a land that they are then attacking without understanding that Bad Bunny, the person they claim to hate, has sung extensively and made great art around the exploitation of his land. Are they not seeing how this is about them? Logan, when you say, I hate Bad Bunny, this is terrible, this sucks, no, I'm not excited. Yeah, because you're the bad guy here. Do you guys watch Star Wars and cheer for, episode 4 and 5 Darth Vader? Redeems himself in Return of the Jedi. So that episode 6 was always my favorite. I liked, Han getting out of the carbonite, and I thought, Luke jumping on the. We're gonna skip past Star Wars, but do you cheer for the Bond villains? How do you consume media? That is conservatism. Fundamentally, is being unaware and confused by art, by culture, by music, by politics. To see Bad Bunny sing about his home, our home, to sing about God and to go, we need more Christian patriotism in our music. Do you not understand it? I know they actually technically do not understand it, but they are also choosing not to understand it. It's the same thing for the guys who came to California. and who said, and this really set me off this week, wow, this California place, it's pretty cool. I think I kind of like California. Yeah, obviously, dummy. It is California. It is the jewel of America. And you only think you hate it because you listen to dumb people who grift off of your fear and your lack of critical thinking skills. But if you would just open up your heart and your mind for a second, you may get to enjoy some Bad Bunny. Some Bad Bunny. Bonito. The bonito. You eat chips and guac. You go to Mexican restaurants. You shouldn't be allowed to. But they are. And they are unaware of what they are doing when they attack these people, these cultures, what really made America great. But for Logan Paul, who moved to Puerto Rico to avoid paying taxes. So I'd say that's pretty unpatriotic. Now, of course, if you want to put a little money in your IRA, a little deduction there, right? Planning for the future, saving on taxes. I'm not going to call you unpatriotic for that. You got some deductions here and there. That's what the system is for. But for a rich guy to find every loophole out of paying taxes by exploiting America, living in Puerto Rico, and then attacking it. That's America, by the way, Logan, you big dummy. What is more unpatriotic than that? Trying to avoid paying your fair share into a country that is the only reason you have success. And then attacking Bad Bunny, who did a whole residency in Puerto Rico to revitalize and boost the economy of his community. That's a patriot in every sense of the word. A man who loves this country, who loves his community, and is willing to put his bucks into it. Bad Bunny could have made a lot more money just playing big stadiums around the U.S., but he said, I don't want my people to be put in danger of ICE. I hate what this administration is doing. Not only am I going to sacrifice a couple of bucks, something Logan Paul won't do, but I'm going to put that money into my community. That is a patriot. That is an American. That is what it is about. So Logan Paul, shut the fuck up. Please. Donald Trump, get off of Twitter. Nobody is interested. Today was about, hopefully, because the game's not over, watching the New England Patriots lose, because there should not be sports teams in New England or Philadelphia. Sorry, friends. Eagles, not a fan. Celtics, not a fan. Sixers, not a fan. I'm going to say it again. Celtics, not a fan as a Laker fan. Get that out of here. And enjoying some incredible halftime music. And that's what we did. Everyone but miserable, stick in the mud Donald Trump. Because we actually love this country.